Okay, here's the second video that I wanted to make for you this morning. It covers the rest of the lesson. So in the lesson it says, I wonder what's going to happen if we put two system out println commands in. So I'm going to go back to our code and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to fix the first system out print line. So it says, hello world. And then I'm going to copy and paste So what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to print on one line or is it going to print on two separate lines? So if you guessed that it would print hello world on one line and hello world on another line, that's fine. In fact, let me change this second one to match the notes where they actually say hello again so we can differentiate. So if you guessed hello world on one line, hello again on a second line, you would be correct. Now, the next thing the notes talk about is printing sideways, which I think is very odd. But what they want you to do is take out the LN in the first system out print line statement. So let's do that. First of all, remember, anytime you make a change, you got to check for errors, so compile. So we compiled without error, and now let's hit the run guy. Interesting. So let's analyze what happened here. It printed hello world, did not move to the next line, then it printed hello again. Very interesting. And that is what it said it was going to do. So I wonder what would happen if I took the hello again, copied it, and pasted it, and said hello. So it says hello world, hello again, hello final, let's call it. So this is a little different than your notes. So again, we made a change. We need to compile and check for errors. All right, let's analyze what's going on, and then we can refer to the notes. So once again, it printed hello world when it was system out print. It stayed on that line. It printed hello again. After it printed hello again, it essentially moved to the next line, waiting to print something. Then it printed hello final. Very interesting. Let's go to the notes and see what the notes say. So the notes are telling us some basic rules about the difference between println and print. So system out print, let me make this bigger so we can get all the information. System out println completes printing on the current line and pulls the print position down to the next line where any future printing continues. So it's waiting for the next thing to be printed. But system out print without the ln prints on the current line and stops there, and it waits for any future printing. And that is what we see. Now, before we get to the programming project, there's one more thing that I want to do here. So let's copy this println. The last one, we'll paste it. Let's just say on to the first project. All right, so if you are familiar with what we've been doing, you should be able to guess that now we have 3 lines of output. Now, let's try to figure out how to put a blank line between hello final and on to the first project. Well, let's go after the hello final and let's try system.out.print and let's put nothing inside of the parentheses. You think that's going to work? It didn't like that. I think I made a boo-boo. Let me do this. And then I'm going to take out what's in here. I'm not sure what was wrong with that last one, but I don't want to waste time. Okay, let's compile. Oh, it doesn't like that at all. So let's try and put ln in here and see what happens. Oh, okay. Well, that seemed to work fine. And look what happened. So Let's review. So system out print will print what's inside of the parentheses, and it waits for the next output. The next line of code is system out print ln, so it'll print hello again from where it left off, and then it moves to the next line for the next line of output. The next line of output is to print hello final. It moves to the next line, waiting for the next thing to print. And this new command, system.out.println, with nothing inside of the parentheses, is essentially how we get a blank line. So from the Java perspective, we print the blank line, we move to the next line, waiting for the next line of output, which is onto the first project, which is here. So great. Now let's go down to our first project at the end, and I believe we've covered everything. So now, this project says it's called From Me to You. We are not doing that. As I talked about in class, when we make projects, we're going to relate them to the lesson. So this first project, we're going to rename PP1. So in order to get a new project going in JGrass, you say File, New, Java. So I'm going to help you at least set it up. So I do want you to put comments in. So you're going to, like they're showing you, you're going to put author, your name, and then you're going to put the date created. And then you would say public class, and then PP1 is the name of your program. So I'm going to put in the open and closing curly brackets. Then you would put that line in public static void main. Remember, this is wrong. We put string bracket args, and then we put another set of curly brackets. Remember, the code that you want to run is going to go inside of here. So what you need to do for me is I want you to replicate this output exactly like it is. So when I walk you by your computer, everybody's going to have this same output. From Bill Smith, address Dell Computer Building 13, the date, a blank line, to Jack Jones, a black line, and a message, help, I'm trapped inside of a computer. So that's going to be your task for Monday when you go to class. It's pretty easy. And then you'll be able to, once you're done, you can move on to reading lesson 2 and taking a few notes. I would suggest that you watch my videos as you're reading, just so that you can kind of practice along, okay? It's not going to be really long. We're just going to get into some introductory stuff. We'll do some actual practice coding in class when I return on Wednesday. So if anything is a disaster, just message me and remind. Thanks.